Howdy everybody, David here, and this is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition class breakdowns tutorial on the Fighter Archetype, the Battlemaster. Now, the Battlemaster is a really versatile class because you get a lot of different special maneuvers that you can use a two-handed weapon with. You can use two-weapon fighting. You can use, a sword and a shield or a mace and a shield. So there's a lot of versatility with the Battlemaster using their maneuvers, and that's pretty much their main mechanic as the Battlemaster. It's definitely, the Battlemaster is a lot more involved than the Eldritch Knight and also the Champion. So let's dive in and let's take a look at the Battlemaster. So whenever you hit level 3, you choose your archetype. You will choose this, the Battlemaster. Now, along with Battlemaster, you are also going to get all of these baseline fighter features. You're going to get at level 1, you're going to get your fighting cell, second wind, all of these ability score improvements, the extra attacks, up to 4 attacks around at level 20. You're going to get multiple uses of action surge, indomitable, and it's a really good base for, the fighter. So on top of all of that good stuff that you're going to get for fighter, you're also going to get certain skills, archetype features at level 3, 7, 10, and 15. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to break all these down. So the first thing, the Battlemaster, has a lot of flexibility, and it all goes with maneuvers and superiority dice. So whenever you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you learn maneuvers. So you learn 3 maneuvers. There's a total of 16 maneuvers in D&D 5e for the Battlemaster. You get to learn 3 off the bat. We'll go over those at the end. So when you get these maneuvers, they enhance your attacks, like I said. You can, knock a target prone, you can reduce your damage, you can command someone else to strike, you can rally all of your allies. There's a lot of different maneuvers. So you're also going to learn additional maneuvers at level 7, 10, and 15 to take you up, to 3. You start with 3, so you're going to get 2 more at 7, take it to 5, 7, and 9. So you're going to learn a total of 9 maneuvers by the time you're level 15, which is a lot. It's over half of them. And every time you learn a new maneuver, you can also replace one of them. If you don't like something, you can replace it with something else. Pretty nice. I like that freedom that you have. So the next thing that goes hand in hand with maneuvers are your superiority die. And your superiority die start at a d8. And whenever you expend a maneuver, you expend a superiority die, and whenever you get your superiority dies back, you have to have either a short or long rest. It's actually really nice to be able to need just a short rest, which is only an hour in 5e. So also take into consideration, you're going to gain another superiority die at 7 and 1 more at 15 to give you a total of 6 maneuvers before you need a short or long rest. And to go with some of these maneuvers, not all of them, but some of them, you are going to need that. You're going to need to do saving throws. Well, the creature that you're attacking is going to need to do saving throws. So the DC for that, it's basically 8 plus your proficiency bonus and your strength or dex modifier. So that actually shows the versatility of using these maneuvers, because you can use finesse weapons and be a dex-based fighter. Like if you're 2-weapon fighting, you could use rapiers or whatnot, and you could use the dex modifier. Or if you're going two-handed, you can use strength or longsword or any other strength-based weapon. So it's really nice. It gives you a lot of versatility. So that's describing the combat superiority, how it works, and the mechanics of it, and then we'll also go over each maneuver separately at the end of the video. So also at level 3, you are going to get Student of War. So what Student of War does is it basically lets you gain proficiency with one type of Artisan tool. Because as a fighter, you notice that you do not get any kind of tool proficiency. Some classes do, the fighter does not. So whenever you take Battlemaster, you will get Student of War, which does give you a proficiency with one type of Artisan tools. And there are many types of artisan tools. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these artisan tools. They are in Chapter 5 in the equipment section. So you just want to open up your player's handbook, go to the tools section, and you can see that there are a ton of artisan tools, everything from alchemist supplies, carpenter's tools, cooks, leatherworking, smiths, wood carvers. So it has to be one. You can only choose one. So Student of War only allows you to choose one, which is still pretty nice. You get at least one proficiency in a tool. Can't complain about that. So the next thing for the Battlemaster is going to be Know Thy Enemy. So starting at level 7, if you spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside combat, you can learn certain information about its capabilities compared to your own, basically for combat. And the DM will have to tell you if the creature is your equal, superior, or inferior in regard to 2 of the following characteristics of your choice. And you get to choose. Do you want to know that target's strength score, dex score, constitution score, armor class, current hit points, total class levels, or the fighter class levels? Maybe it's a multi-class, and maybe you kind of sense that because you've seen him doing other things, but there you go. You can know 2 of those, and the DM has to tell you those. So all you have to do is observe for 1 minute. Pretty nice. So that's Know Thy Enemy. Now the next thing you're going to get is pretty much the bread and butter of the Battlemaster, and this is Improved Combat Superiority. So at 10th level, your superiority dice are going to go from D8s, they're going to turn into D10s now at level 10. And then whenever you hit level 18, those D10s are now going to turn into D12s. That is massive to go from a D8 up to a D12. That is really that is really nice, actually. So Improved Combat Superiority, that's at level 10. Level 15 is Relentless. Now Relentless is pretty nice. I feel for a level 15 class archetype, maybe it could have been a little bit better with maybe regaining a couple more of these, but starting at level 15, when you roll initiative and have no superiority dice remaining, you regain 1 superiority die. So meaning if you guys are if your party is on a short rest or a long rest and you get ambushed, say by a mind flyer, then whenever you roll initiative, if you were totally spent, had no superiority dice left, then you would get 1 left. You would get 1. So you would have an entire combat with at least 1, which is nice. I feel maybe that it could have gone 2. Maybe your Dungeon Master will make an exception if you talk to him about it and prove your case. That could possibly happen. So Relentless is also nice. And now, lastly, let's go ahead and check out all 16 of these combat maneuvers, and we'll talk about each one separately. So Commander Strike is basically when you attack, when you take the attack action on your turn, you can forego one of your attacks and use a bonus action to direct one of your companions to strike. And when you do so, choose a friendly creature who can see or hear you and expend 1 superiority die. So basically you can make someone else that can see or hear you attack. And when you roll your superiority die, that creature can use its reaction to make the weapon attack. And if that creature that you commanded to strike the target hits, then you would add your superiority die, whether it be the D8, D10, or D12, depending on your level. You could add that to the attacker's damage roll that you commanded to attack. Pretty cool. It's sort of like the 4th edition Warlord. Now, Disarming Attack. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to disarm the target, forcing it to drop 1 item of your choice that it's holding. You add the superiority die, whether it's a D8, D10, or D12, to the attacker's damage roll, and that target must make a strength saving throw. And if that target fails its strength saving throw, it drops the object you choose. The object lands at its feet. That's pretty much, straightforward. You use your superiority die, your attack hits, you add your superiority die to the damage roll, whether it be a D8, D10, or D12. The target has to make the saving throw. It fails, it drops the weapon. Unfortunately, in 5th edition, there's really no penalty for dropping your weapon. So, all creature has to do is pick up his weapon, and basically that's it. There's no attacks of opportunity unless you have an optional house rule or something like that. Then Disarming Attack could really work to your advantage. So Distracting Strike is when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to distract the creature, giving your allies an opening. You add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll. The next attack roll against the target by an attacker other than you has advantage if the attack is made before the start of your next turn. So Distracting Strike works like this. Whenever you hit that creature, when you expend your superiority die, this allows other allies to get in on attacking this creature till the start of your next turn. So you're going to add your superiority die to the damage roll, and everybody else around in your area, if they run up to this target, they can attack. They'll have advantage on the attack until the start of your next turn. Really nice. Distracting Strike is really nice. So next is Evasive Footwork. When you move, you can expend 1 superiority die, whether it be a D8, D10, D12, rolling the die and adding that number rolled to your armor class until you stop moving. This is really nice, especially when you're in that oh crap situation and maybe you're surrounded by 5 of those, challenge rating 2 skeletal minotaurs, and you have 1 chance to get out of there. You can literally run. You're going to take all the attacks of opportunity, but you're definite. Or if you don't have it, if you don't have any actions left to disengage, meaning you can use Evasive Footwork, spend that superiority die, and get the heck out of dodge. And you can roll that D8, D10, or D12 and add that to your AC, which is going to make it a heck of a lot harder for you to be hit. So, like I said, Evasive Footwork, definitely a good get out of jail card free, because all it takes is just a free action when you're moving. So that's really good. So next is Fainting Attack. Fainting Attack is when you expend 1 superiority die, and you use a bonus action to do this, and then you turn to faint. So fainting, this kind of feint doesn't mean you faint, and pass out. This feint is as you kind of like fake maybe you go to fake attack or something like that, and it kind of catches your target off guard. So whenever you do this, the creature has to be within 5 foot of you for your target. So that's the key. You have to be within 5 foot of your target to do this. And when you do this as your bonus action, that will give you basically advantage on your next attack roll against the creature. So that's pretty nice. Advantage is really nice. And then if the attack hits, you add that superiority die that you rolled, whether it be a D8, D10, D12, to that attack's damage roll. Pretty straightforward. Really nice. Next is Goading Attack. So Goading Attack is when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to goad the target into attacking you. You add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll, and the target must make a wisdom saving throw. And if that target fails its wisdom saving throw, that target has disadvantage on all attack rolls against other targets other than you until the end of your next turn. So it works like this. It basically works like a taunt, like in a video game, or like in 4th edition or in other games. If you use Goading Attack, you will expend your superiority die. You will also force that creature to attack you only, unless it wants to attack other people around it. But if it does that, it will have disadvantage. So you're basically forcing your dungeon master to use that monster against you only, and everybody else is just going to have a waylay and a heyday on it. So Goading Attack is pretty nice, but just take into consideration, it has to make a saving throw. So that's one bad thing about it. And if it makes it, then it's not going to have disadvantage. So it has to fail the saving throw first, and then of course if you hit, you're going to add your superiority die, whether it be a D8, D10, D12, to the attack roll that you attacked it. But it's really nice. Next is Lunging Attack. Lunging Attack is really nice. So when you make a melee weapon attack, keyword, you have to make a melee weapon attack on your turn, you can expend one superiority die, whether it be a D8, D10, D12, to increase your reach for that attack by 5 feet. And if you hit, you can add that superiority die that you rolled to the damage roll of that attack. So basically, if you've got 5 feet in between you and Snaggletooth the Orc, you can use lunging attack, expend a superiority die, roll that attack roll, lunge forward, hit him, and then use that superiority die roll and add it to the attack's damage roll. Pretty nice. It's really straightforward also. Maneuvering attack. This is a really nice one also. When you hit a creature with a melee attack, you can expend one superiority die to maneuver one of your comrades into a more advantageous position. And when you do this, you add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll if it hits, and then you choose a friendly creature who you can see or hear. So that creature can then use its reaction if it still has its reaction, because you only get one per round, one per turn. And it can move half its speed without provoking opportunity attacks from the target of your attacks, which is really nice. It works like this. You're attacking Snaggletooth the Orc. Alright, you're just plowing away on him. You could use some help. You use maneuvering attack. Say, Big Dirt the Daring is about 15 feet away. You know that he's going to be able to get there with half his movement, and maybe, speaking hypothetically here, maybe you have a house rule that has flanking from the Dungeon Master's Guide as an optional rule put into your game. So maneuvering attack would be really advantageous because you could really shift Big Dirt the Daring over 15 foot. He would not take any kind of opportunity attacks. Then when you have that flanking, then everybody, you and the person flanking, would have advantage on that. Regardless, if you do have that house rule or that optional rule from the Dungeon Master's Guide for flanking in there, with or without it, maneuvering attack is still really good because it prevents attacks of opportunity when you move one of your allies up to half its movement speed. So that's really nice. And that is also something that the Warlord has from 4th edition. So you can see a theme here that you could actually turn a Battlemaster into a Warlord using Commanding Strike, maneuvering attack, and a couple of these other, maneuvers also. So the next one is Menacing Attack. And when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend one superiority die to attempt to frighten the target. And if you hit, you can add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll, and the target must make a wisdom saving throw. And if that target fails that wisdom saving throw, it gets the frightened condition until the end of your next turn. So basically it'll try to run away from you as far as it can, max movement, and if it can't move any further, it will take its action to take the dodge action. Basically that's pretty much what it would do. I'm not too sure if it's going to work exactly like Turn Undead or not, but I know Frighten, you'll basically be shivering there or trying to run away. So Menacing Attack is pretty nice. It's really nice. But I don't know, I would probably take a few others before I took Menacing Attack. Now parry, when another creature damages you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction and expend one superiority die to reduce the damage by the number you roll on the superiority die plus your dex modifier. This is really nice. So if you want to go sort of like if you're going like sword and shield or mason shield, or you could go two-hander or whatever. If you want to absorb a bunch of damage, take parry, because it's gonna, whenever you take your superiority die, you have to have a reaction left. So if you take an opportunity attack, you won't be able to take parry because you have to have that reaction to expend it. So when you do that, all you do is just roll your D8, your D10, or your D12, take that, add it to your dex modifier. So if you rolled a 7 on your D8, and then you have a dex modifier of 4, then you would literally reduce 11 from your damage that you just took. So parry is really nice. And if say if you got hit for 10 damage, you would only take just a couple damage from being, successful with your parry. Next up is Precision Attack. This is really nice. When you make a weapon attack roll against a creature, you can expend 1 superiority die to add it to the roll. You can use this maneuver before or after making the attack roll, but before any effects of the attack are applied. So basically, if you want to use the superiority die, if you want to use precision attack, you roll. You don't even know if you hit or missed. It says you can wait. So you hit, expend that, and you can add the superiority die to the attack roll. Really nice. So that basically lets you or gives you a better chance of hitting the target. And it's pretty straightforward. So precision attack is pretty nice. Pushing attack is next. And when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to drive the target back. You add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll, and if the target is large or smaller, which is really nice, it must make a strength saving throw. And if that target fails the strength saving throw, you can push the target up to 15 feet away from you. So, for instance, say you're fighting that undead skeletal minotaur. I believe it is a large creature. You can attack it, you can damage it, and when you use pushing attack, you add that superiority die, whether it be D8, D10, D12, add it to the damage roll, and seeing that that target is either large or smaller, it needs to make that saving throw. So if it fails the strength saving throw, you can literally push it 15 feet. So pushing is in a straight line, and just take into consideration, if there's a wall 10 feet away, then obviously you're only going to be able to push it 10 feet because of the wall. You won't be able to push it through the wall, unless your DM just allows it. So, but depends on how solid the wall is. Next is Rally. On your turn, you can use a bonus action and expend 1 superiority die to bolster the resolve of one of your companions. When you do so, you can choose a friendly creature who can see or hear you. That creature gains temporary hit points equal to the superiority die roll plus your charisma modifier. Really straightforward. This is like another, say, point blank, this is like another 4th edition Warlord skill. Basically, if somebody's being hurt, so you can cast this on the mage or the cleric or anybody else, you use your bonus action, you put Rally on them, you roll your D8, D10, D12 superiority die, add your charisma modifier, bam, temporary hit points. They take their temporary hit points down before they start taking their hit points again. Really cool. Really straightforward. And that's Rally. So next is Repost. Repost is when a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction and expend 1 superiority die to make a melee weapon attack against the creature. And if you hit, you can add that superiority die to the attack's damage roll. Really straightforward. Sort of like fencing. So if someone misses you with the attack, you can go, ho-ho, I riposte. You attack, it hits, wow. You roll your superiority die, and you add that to the damage. Now, take into consideration, you have to have your reaction to use this. That's the only thing. You have to have your reaction. Straightforward, though. Target attacks, misses, use your reaction, attack roll, hit, superiority die, spend it, add it to the damage, you're good to go. Sweeping attack is next. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to damage another creature with the same attack. Choose another creature within 5 feet of the original target and within your reach. If the original attack roll would hit the second creature, it takes damage equal to the number you roll on the superiority die. The damage is the same type dealt by the original attack. Really straightforward, a lot of jumbo bumbo in there, but this is how it goes. You got 2 orcs standing beside each other, or 2 goblins standing beside each other. They're probably obviously going to have the same AC, unless one is using a bow and whatnot. Then you'll calculate it that way. So whenever you attack, use sweeping attack. The primary target to attack hits automatically. If that target is within 5 feet of your original target, then that's when sweeping attack comes in. You hit the second target, and as long as the original attack roll will also hit that target, it'll be a hit. So the damage that target will take will be on the superiority die. So, you know, if you hit the first one for 12 and you roll an 8 out of 8 for your superiority die, then that other goblin is going to take 8 damage. So, and then if you're using a two-handed weapon, it's going to be, you know, if you're using that great sword or that great axe, it's going to be slashing damage. So, you know, the primary target will take slashing, and that secondary target that you hit with the sweeping attack will still take the slashing damage. So that's it. Straightforward once you just kind of read everything in there. Trip attack is the last one, and when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to knock down the target, and you add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll. And if the target is large or smaller, it needs to make a strength saving throw, and if that target fails that strength saving throw, you will knock the target prone. Straightforward. Basically, you attack, you use trip attack, expend your superiority die, whether it be D8, D10, D12. If it hits, add the damage from your superiority die on top of your other damage. That creature will now need to make that saving throw. If it's large or smaller, if it fails that saving throw, you knock the target prone. Pretty cool. There's really no penalty for standing up, so you're not going to get an attack of opportunity in 5th edition. Like I said, unless you have a house rule putting in some more attacks of opportunity. But the one good thing about it is, on multiple attacks thereafter, you'll have advantage as long as that target is still within 5 feet, especially seeing that you're a fighter, you're going to have extra attack. So on your first attack, you would use trip attack, and then everything else, you would just waylay the heck out of it with advantage with normal attacks. Really nice. And lastly, if that creature goes to stand up, there is some penalty. He would lose half his movement for trying to stand up. So that's it. Trip attack is actually really nice. So everybody, that is all the maneuvers, all 16 of them. This is the entire Battle Master. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any comments, please feel free to leave one down below. If you have any requests for tutorials on D&D 5e or Roll20, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. Like the and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And once again, I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.